Thought I would create this quick video which will introduce you to the standalone iTree Streets version 5 testing application. So what I'd like to do is to take a few minutes just to go over basic installation of the standalone application, project configuration, and most importantly working with the new web forms. So you should have received a link by email to install the standalone application. Now I'll go ahead and click that. I already have this installed, but I just want to point out a couple things which may help you through these steps. First of all, you'll need to be logged into the iTree website. So if you click that link, it may take you to a page initially and ask you for your username and password. I already logged on a different screen, so I'm pretty well set here. What I would suggest you do is just save this zip file to a location somewhere on your computer. Now I already downloaded this to save us some time, so I'm going to cancel out of here for now. So once you have that zip file downloaded, you'll need to extract the contents. And all you really have to do here at this point is launch the setup.exe, and it'll run through the normal sequence of installing the standalone application. And the key is it is a standalone application. So you'll have your normal iTree folder. You don't need to delete any of your existing files, and you're not overwriting your current version of iTree Streets. This is its own entity basically. So let's talk a little bit about project creation. To launch the standalone, it's very much the same way you would launch Streets. The only thing you want to make sure is when you go to Start, All Programs, iTree, you'll notice that you now have this iTree Streets along with Streets. So there's not much of a distinction between version 4 and version 5. We want the one that says iTree Streets. So go ahead and launch that, and you will see the typical Streets startup screen. Now, one of the things you may do is you might check this under the help menu to see what version it is. None of this has been updated. This is still very much a work in progress. So once we have this application all finalized, this will say version 5. So the key is just to remember to launch iTree Streets as opposed to just Streets. Okay, so for testing, you certainly can use one of the sample projects available in here, the iPad project or the Davis sample project 2. I'm just going to quickly create a project from scratch just to kind of go through those steps, but I'm not going to discuss those because actually they are very much the same as what you've been using in version 4 and actually version 3 too. So I'm just going to create a new project real quickly. I'll use the complete inventory option. I'm not going to bother with filling in any of the city data and costs and so forth. That's not really necessary for testing. Set the defaults here too. And so for testing, because we are really interested in how things function on the web forms, please feel free to activate any of these options that you may be interested in just to see how they work on particular devices. One of the things I mentioned that the GPS lat long is currently not built into this testing version. So checking that box is not really going to change any of the functionality on the device that I'm working with. And you can go through and modify these as you would like to do for testing. So for zones, I might just create a couple new ones here. And same thing with condition. I'll just add one here to make sure that it's accepting. I'll create another one. Call this historical tree. Anything else that you would like to change here for testing, have at it. It's saving my project, and at that point I have a project that's configured and ready to send to a device.